judge, and I was stopped cold. So I want to know. And if people want me to take up that cause as a judge, I'll do it. I just need a courtroom. I mean, it was literally, the theater where we were holding things were literally demolished. The tapes were literally destroyed, and we were stopped in our tracks. So I say, Ole, you're a researcher. Let's find out. Was it the CIA? Was it MI5? Was it the Rothschilds? Was it the Queen of England? Who was it? How are they walking around?
This is where I work on a street level. I don't know, but I think that what you said is correct, all of it. Yes, it's the Rothschild. Yes, it's the English royal family. Yes, it's the Bilderberg group. Yes, it's the Trilateral Commission. Yes, it's the Council on Foreign Relations. Yes, it's the Committee of 300. Yes, it's the Club of Rome. Yes, and so on. Yes, it's the Jesuits. Yes, it's the Illuminati. Yes, all of it entangle into this spider web where these agencies like the CIA, MI6, and Mossad and so on, they look like they're separate down on a street level, but they're connected up in the top. So the thing is, where is the head of the snake? What or the octopus? Where is it? What is it? And I did an interview with Cody where he said something I thought was really, really interesting, because he said, just like so many others, that wars, it's the bankers' wars. That behind it all, the control mechanism are through the banks. But he said that money, they can print themselves. They got the machines. They can do whatever. It's not the money they're after. It's the debt. It is the debt. To create debt is the control. So he says all of these wars are not there to make money. They're there to create debt. And I thought that was very, very interesting, because when a country is attacked and they don't have the weapons to defend themselves, they say, oh, please help us. In comes the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and so on. They're giving them loans so that they can invest in weapons and defend themselves. Then not only these, but through the banks, the bankers are funding both or multiple sides at the same time. They don't care who wins or who loses as long as debt is created. Every single bomb that is dropped, boom, that was another $300,000, another $300,000, another $300,000, new debt created. And then once the whole thing is total devastation, in comes the rebuilding of the whole thing and more debt created. And so that is how they control you, through the debt. And I think the word mortgage is so interesting because it means death. It's French and it means mortage. It's death. So debt and death. In Swedish and Danish and Scandinavian countries, when you say the word for debt, it's guilt.
Guilt?
If you're in debt, you're guilty. You have guilt. And so they imprison us through debt.
Amazing.
I thought that was really interesting because I've always been asking, how much money do you need? How much money? How much? No. It's not the money. It's the debt. And that came from Cody, who used to be... Say again?
No. I was just saying that is fascinating.
I think so too. Because it's not the money. You print whatever on it. Is this a poster? No, it's a $500 bill. Okay, there's a difference. Not really. It's the same piece of paper. But if you get into debt, if that paper means that suddenly you're in debt to that individual controls you. And that's what they want. There's total control. And when you look at the ridiculous, I love it when I'm looking at maps of the world and they say, well, the US have $500 trillion in debt and Vietnam has $100 million, whatever. How is it possible for everybody to be in debt. I mean, somebody must have lent out the money to somebody else to create it. No, that's not how it works. Debt is created and created and created by them to just totally imprison us. And do you know what? I got a little poem for them. Do you want to hear my poem?
Yes, please.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I've got 5 fingers and the middle one's for you.
That's a good one.
It's like, really. I mean, we laugh and we say, and it's just, but when you think of it, it's just, these things that we're talking about is just mind-blowing. Sometimes I feel like my brain want to come to a meltdown when I think of these individuals just walking the streets as free and even rich. They're millionaires, they're trillionaires, whatever they are, and we're just accepting it. I mean, if I drive too fast, they get me right away. I get a ticket or they take my driver's license. But these people, they kill a million innocent, not a problem. Just keep walking.
Yeah. I was looking at a new series. It's a series of books that just came out in London, and it goes to the bloodlines. And these are the ancient bloodlines that many come out of Italy. They're kind of the papal bloodlines, but these are the Venetian bloodlines, and they go Venetian, Iranian, but these are the ancient bloodlines, and they will have, 10 to 20 trillion dollars in their bank accounts, and they're the books have just come out, and I think I'm going to order one of them. I think they run around $25. And I think I'm going to go and order one of them. I just got a mailer. But I think that's the level that we're talking about. These kind of ancient bloodline families that just maneuver at that level and, play. And for them, you've got the Jesuits and you've got, the Sanhedrin secret Zionist government, and you've got, all these different factors, and then playing and moving. Well, look, enough for them. Are there any points that you had wanted to make, or perhaps that you've heard Cody make elsewhere that weren't brought up in this webinar yet?
One of the things I want to mention is that on the 17th of December, I'm going to have a webinar myself with Cody, where anyone that it's on donation basis, anything from $1 to 100, whatever, anybody can join and put direct questions to Cody, speak directly to a CIA whistleblower. I don't think that has ever happened before. So please go to lightonconspiracies.com and just sign up. And join us, because this is it's so important to get questions from different angles, things that we haven't thought of, like to help add to the puzzle. And I would very much like, if it's okay with you, Alfred, that let's do this again with Cody and
please
go on different levels, because he has spent many, many years in these areas. He has been part of assassinations. He's been a sniper, bodyguard, assassin, and all of the. And one of the things that that interest me is to find out the emotional. Like, how do you live with doing these things? How do you, when you do it, and so on. And one of what in our discussions, what I've learned from him is that. The line between an assassin and a bodyguard is super thin. It's the same thing. It's just one is defending, the other one is attacking. And so many of these things, like if you're a sniper in a war, you're a hero if you have 100 kills. If you're a sniper and a civilian, you're a mass murderer. What is the,
Yeah.
So for me, it comes down to the point. I really don't care about all the details. It's a matter of good and evil, love and fear. And it comes down to these two powers, that this is a spiritual struggle. It is on so many different levels, but ultimately it is a spiritual level where we just have to focus on love. That is what I always say in my world. That is what is true to me.
Yeah.
And live in love, live fearless, be inspired by people like Cody, and take a step forward, because so many of us are part of this machine that is controlling the rest of us, you know?
Exactly. Now, before I ask you to close with a prayer, which I'm going to do, Cody was mentioning his book, and I think it slipped through the cracks because I never got a link from you, or even the title of it.
There is no link, and there is no link, and this is also. I've been approached, and people have said, "Oh, he's just a fake one. He's doing it to sell his book." Really. Okay, in that case, of course, the book would be right there on the shelves with the whole marketing campaign behind it, just waiting for the go ahead. This book isn't even finished, and it's in a raw edit mode. It is available as a PDF, but people are helping him to try and get it up on Amazon. I think they will try to sell it as a raw copy, but it's like more than 600 pages, weighs too much for Amazon's printing service and so on.
There are other services other than there's Smashwords. Tell him that Smashwords is probably where he should go. Smashwords.com.
There are several publishers that are interested. I'm introducing him to others. There's also filmmakers and so on. So the main focus this week or this last 10 days have just get him out on the air, get this information out there, so that should anything happen to him, it will just amplify what he's been saying. And he's been to a medical doctor. He's been tested, that everything is okay. I think he's got a little diabetes. Otherwise than that, he doesn't drink. He doesn't take drugs. He doesn't take anything. He's not suicidal. His car has been tested. He's got bodyguards. While we were talking now, there are bodyguards in his house and in the surrounding areas. He's in a remote area up in Colorado. And it has been very, very nerve-wracking on him, because when we started going out with this, none of us knew. That is also why I made a whole long series of interviews with him, because who knows, tomorrow he might be gone. That's how he was, what he was saying as well. He just wanted it out there. And now it's started to calm down. It feels like we passed the most dangerous part. So I'm exhausted as well.
And this is amazing, because I was not aware that one of the ramifications of the Alfred P. Murrah bombing was to destroy the evidence of the Gulf War syndrome and destroy the evidence against the Clintons once again.
The Clintons I knew. The other thing that is so much bigger, I had no idea. I've never heard it before.
Yeah. Wow. Well, over to you.
Well, this is a historical date.
Back into today is December 7th. The granddaddy of the false flags. Well, for World War II, because if we go back to World War I, Grand Duke Archferdinand's shooting was probably a false flag.
Yeah, and do you know that it was George Bush Sr.'s granddad, Prescott Bush dad, that was part of faking the so-called Zimmerman telegram that got the U.S. into World War I. And then Prescott Bush, the father of George Bush Sr., was the guy that funneled the funds to Adolf Hitler, together with Allen Dulles and John Foster Dulles as lawyers. So 3 generations of absolute super war criminals. Prescott was even, I think he was charged with treason, but he got off the hook. and so on. So we're looking at,
and George H.W. Bush is on record as saying, if people knew what we've done, what did he say? They would string us along.
They would, yeah. But the thing, then Alfred, I ask you, how brain dead do you have to be not to see that evidence has been out there for years, in mountains, heaps of evidence that is so massive against these people, and still people are, no, I don't think so. I think you are one of these conspiracy theorists, aren't you?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Not at all. And this is what I love about the truth. It fears no investigation. All of this crap you talk about, where they blow up the building that you were in, they sabotage the tape, they confiscate the cameras. What does that tell you? That is the deed of criminal minds that are trying to cover their butts. That is what that is. So let's get the truth out there.
Exactly.
And here comes the prayer.
Oh, good. This is my favorite part of our programs.
Thank you so much, Alfred. And I just want to say, both my parents are dead, but their wedding day was yesterday.
Oh,
so in their name, here it comes. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light. May everyone, and especially the ones who hurt us, be filled with peace and joy, love and light. Victory to that light.
How wonderful to come from that extreme polarization and duality consciousness of I win, you lose, and just move through that into we are one. It's something. Well, thank you so much. And until we meet again, and we look forward to your returning again, Ole, as events develop. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Can I just mention my website once again? It's lightonconspiracy.com. It's I'm no longer a one-man band. I have a small little team around me of incredible people that are helping me, which is fantastic after all of these years. Really devoted individuals that I want to thank here online. Will, Kim, Susie, fantastic. So I'm so grateful. Frank as well, who's helping me with the Facebook and so on. But if anybody wants to support this, please, there are donation buttons. I'm on Patreon. I've also very recently, I put all of my research material. I've got like almost 2 terabyte. That is more than 2,000 gigabyte of anything from documents, maps, photos, videos, films, you name it, sound recordings from all cases over all of these years that I've been into this. I mean, we're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of files, all of it super easily to surf around, everything categorized in very simple alphabetic order and so on. And what I've decided to do, since I've got a family of 5, is to put it online. I put it up on Dropbox, and then I sell access to this where people can go in and get access to 2,000 gigabyte of, it's like going into a super library. I call it my vault. If JFK, whatever, you can go in there, hundreds of different names. All of these folders are with subfolders, documents, photos, maps, and videos. Documents, photos, maps, and videos. Whatever you want to search on, in whatever country of these things that I looked into, which are in the hundreds, are there. So I just want to mention that it's available on my website as well. It comes with a price tag, but that is because it's half of my life I put into this. So I ask people to please respect that and see what this is really worth. A lot of the material that is there in this vault as well, I believe has been gone because so much is getting deleted right away after these operations. But I'm normally right on top of it, downloading everything, saving it, organizing it, and categorizing it, and so on. So anyway, that's about it. And then on the 17th of December, I'm going to have this webinar with Cody, and I'm also trying to put together what I would say is a unique interview, where I'm going to interview Cody and Chip Tatum together.
Wow.
Which would be very interesting, because Cody has never met Chip. He's been at a lecture once where Chip was, but they've been operating in Arkansas. I mean, Chip was one of the people flying the planes in and out of MENA, and Cody was one of the people transporting weapons there, drugs out, at least the weapons. I don't know about the drugs and so on. But they've been very close over all of these years, parallel, knowing the same people and so on. So that, I think, is going to be one very explosive interview.
Excellent, excellent. This is documenting what's really going on just under the surface, so that we can begin to, it's like surfacing all of this, so then we can be realistic about what's going on and take appropriate action. So thank you for all of this work, Ole.
Yeah, and thank you, Alfred, for creating this platform and creating all of these ways of getting the information out there, and for your courage over the years. You were way back then, and you are still here. Fantastic.
Thank the Creator.
Yep.
Okay. Well, until our next meeting. Thank you.
Until our next meeting.